Let's just start the damn thing, okay? Oh, I'm not in a good mood after that. Like, at all. I think that's no, that's not the first game that I've really disliked playing. I'd say it's probably the one I don't know. Aladdin was pretty bad. This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee 427. Why is there no odd?
Number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
That was weird.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
Okay.
But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
What happens if I don't step out of the office? What are you gonna do, narrator? You gonna do anything if I don't step out of the office? Just gonna... The game just crashed? What the shit? Seriously? If I'm just not getting any breaks today, like, at all? Like, seriously. My... Okay, click to skip. I know this... There. I was just wanting... All I wanted was the stupid jaggies on the chair to go away. The chair looked all jaggies. I was like, I'm gonna make the chair look less jaggies. And the goddamn game crashed. I'm not having a good day. I am feeling like I am full of rage Mahal. What's down here? What's that weird cord for? The cord comes out of the wall and goes back into the wall. Like, what the shit is that? And then there's another one over here. Okay, Mr. Narrator, I'll leave the room.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Papers on the floor. I want to inspect what the papers say.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Partition Corp. Providing partitions for 50 years. That sounds like an incredibly boring job. This computer's on. And I turned it off. Well, that was not interesting. This is like a breadcrumb trail. I kind of wish that the doorknobs jingled a little bit. It's like weird little attention to detail that, like, I love seeing.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
You can go be a dick to someone else, Mr. Narrator. What the shit? Alright. My salt levels are slowly lowering. Interesting. Alright, so I can interact with I mean, like, it was kind of obvious I can interact with doors, but what is on the wall in there? Some charts. Something in this quarter. I wish I could read that.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fuck it. Right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
What? Nobody locks their friggin', like, turns off their computer screens at all here. This is a very ungreen company. And all the doors are goddamn locked.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Let's see then. Can I stay even longer?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Now I just want to egg on the narrator.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
You shouldn't keep giving me dialogue then, game. Come on, game. Come on. Fine, we'll keep going. We'll keep going.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Now I kind of want to play this through a second time. Depending on how long this is, we might play it through 2 times. And just, like, completely listen to the narrator.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Like, we'll follow the... I'm going to completely ignore the narrator this time and do, like... well, not ignore, but do the opposite of what the narrator's trying to get me to do. Do not lie. If you are lying, stop right now. If you're lying right now, stop. Okay. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of the cargo lift is $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift is $5,000. You do realize we have to jump off the cargo lift now.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So what happens if I don't admire the employee room at all?
This room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you. To
Danger,
show you
danger
something
everywhere.
Beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay, do not stand on this side of the fence.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
This is so much better than Calendula.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
I'm gonna take the exact same path as last time.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
This is so much better.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. You did because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. I have absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then...
This is a shitty house. You don't build houses out of dirt.
Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside.
I wish I could jump.
You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
It's even got the Minecraft soundtrack. Oh my god.
Oh my. It looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Mushrooms.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
What am I going to be playing now? Like Final Fantasy?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Just gonna put everything in the toilet first before I do anything else. I'm just gonna completely waste all of my time by putting things. Go in the toilet! I can't get back to the radio.
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty.
No!
I really don't care much to
No! No! Where the fuck am I? What the shit? Oh, there's some light. There's some light. Okay. I kind of wish I just stayed in the cell and listened to the Portal music.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Okay. The end is loading.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
No, I'm not going to the goddamn meeting room. I don't care what you want me to do, game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, I feel like we're repeating
The
now.
lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm gonna do the exact...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he
I'm gonna see if he,
wasn't
like,
five
the
years
same thing happens.
ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
I mean, like, he's having the same conversation mostly.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stan.
Okay.
Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
I'm just
Well,
gonna completely ignore
I don't know
him.
how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red.
I'm just gonna basically try and run through the game the exact same way I did last time and see if anything differs.
All right, fine.
Considering the
Go
fact
ahead,
that
Stanley.
everything is so
You wanna
goddamn
know so
meta.
badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is all... Yeah, begin the game again. You know what? This is a really good time for me to stop and take a short break.